Hello everyone. Welcome back to Unikaksha's YouTube channel. This is Ashwini from Unikaksha. Friends, today I am going to discuss with you about Java methods. Here I am going to explain you about every in and out of Java method with the help of example. I am going to show you how Java methods can be written, how it can be executed, how they can be called, and what are the different parameters of Java methods. So let's get started. Let's first understand what exactly is the meaning of method. So basically, method is considered as a block of code which when it is going to be called, then only it can be executed. So the method is considered as a collection of statements or collection of the code which you are going to include there, which are collected together or grouped together to perform a particular task or operation. So whenever you want to reuse the code again and again, then at that time the Java methods can be used. For example, once you have written the code in method, then it can be called again and again. So no need to write the same method multiple times, but you can call the method multiple times once it has been written. Now, whenever you are thinking about the methods, then as now it is clear for you that it is nothing but it is a statement block which we are writing under a particular name. So the methods are divided into two categories. First, that is considered as an inbuilt method, and second is called as a user defined method. So let's talk about the inbuilt method. Inbuilt methods are nothing but the methods which are provided by Java itself. That is, we don't require to write the definition part of such kind of methods. For example, println method. So Java println method we can directly use. We are not going to bother about its definition part. Then the second category is considered as a user defined method. So the user defined methods are the methods which are defined by user. Here, user can define n number of methods in a class for performing a specific task, like for example, addition of two numbers, multiplication of two numbers, or anything like displaying a message or copying some values from some particular database. So for anything, we can write the method. So these are the two categories of methods. First, that is called as a inbuilt method, and second is called as a user defined method. So this is a syntax for writing the methods. Along with the example, I'm going to explain all these things in detail. But here, just take a review on how the methods can be written. So simply here, the syntax for writing the methods is you have to specify the access specifier. It can be public, it can be protected, it can be private, or it can be default. So here the access specifier must be included. Then second is return type. It can be again any data type, any return type, or it can be void. If your method is returning something to the program, then at that time you have to write the specific data type as a return type. If it is not returning anything, then it will be a void data type. Then next is a method name. So method name may be any name given to that method. You can include uppercase characters, lowercase characters. So the rules are same like writing name of the variables. Then next is list of the parameters. Now parameters are nothing but the arguments which you are going to pass with that particular method. So here n number of parameters you can pass, or sometimes the method will not take any kind of parameters. It is totally dependent on the requirement of that method. Then next, inside the curly braces, whatever you will write, that is considered as a method body. So here you are going to write the executable statements. This is how the method can be written. Now let's move to the editor and have a look on the example. There I will explain you about how the methods can be written and how the program can be executed. There only I will explain you about the categories or the steps which we have to follow for writing and calling the method. So let's move to the editor now. So in editor, you can use any editor for writing the Java programs. Like you can go with Eclipse, you can go with Notepad++, or other number of IDs are available in the market. So it is upon you that which kind of editor you are going to use. So here I am going to use Eclipse as well as Notepad++. So here today I have written the programs in Notepad++. So simply I have written a class that is a public class display message. Display message is the name of a class which I have given. Then inside that I have declared the method. Now whenever you want to use the methods, then three things you have to follow. The first thing, that is declaration of the method. Second thing, that is definition of the method. And third thing, that is method call. So declaring the method means you are just going to show the return type, name of the method, and parameter list which you want to pass inside that method. Then the next, that is definition part of the method. It means you are going to add the executable part, or you are going to write the definition of a particular method which you have already declared. Then the third thing, that is method call. It is nothing but you are calling that method in the main method, so that it will provide you the desired results. So here also I have written a method. Name of the method is display. So it is very simple method. I have used the access specifier, that is public. Then the keyword static we have used here. So then next is, if you are using the keyword static with the method, it means that there is no need for using any kind of object for calling that method. So here the method is a static method and its return type is void. It means this method is not going to return anything to the program. Then we have written the name of method, that is display, and no parameters we have passed with this method. So this particular display method is simply written to display a message, that is learning Java is fun. Now here we have called println method. So println is considered as a method, but it is a inbuilt method, whereas display is also a method, but it is a user defined method. So this is the difference. For user defined method, you have to write its definition part, you have to write its method signature, but in case of your inbuilt functions, no need to write all these things. You just have to call that method and use that method for your requirement, because this is the facility provided by Java. Now the next thing you have to do, that is calling the method. So in main method I have called display method. So no parameters I have passed, so no values I have to pass here. So simply the display method has been called. Now let's execute this program. So for that reason, here command line editor I have opened, and I am going to write Javac and then name of the class, that is display message. So this is the name of class .java. So I have compiled this program. Now what I have to do is I have to run this program for displaying the output. So it should display the message, that is learning Java is fun on screen. Yes, so this is the result. It means the method we have written, this statement we have written in the display method, and display method we have called in main method. So when the program is getting executed, so it will call the display method. So the control will be transferred to the display method definition, and it will call this and it will execute it. This is how you can write the methods, simple methods in your program. Now the next thing we are going to see, that is the methods can be written in different ways. Like for example, method with no argument, no return value, method with argument with return value, method with argument but no return value. So these are the types of methods or the ways of writing methods. Now simply here what I have done is I have written another program for you to just show you about the second category of methods, like second way of writing the methods. Here we have written method with no return value and no arguments, that is no parameters we have passed with the method. Now let's have a look on the next program. So here I have written the second program where I have written the method, that is even odd method, and where I have passed one argument there. So let's have a look on that program first. So here simply I have used calculate class and the scanner method for accepting the values from user. So I have created an object of scanner class here, and then by using that object, I am going to accept the value of num from user. So here, let's have a look on the definition part of even odd method. So even odd is a method which is not going to return anything, but it is going to accept the value or as an argument from the user. So here we are passing the argument here. So here the method is going to find out whether the entered number is even or odd. For that, the logic has been entered. The main part of this method is we are passing value or we are passing argument to the method. This is how you can write the method definition if you want to pass the argument. If your method is going to return something to the main method, then here instead of void, you have to write the specific data type. So this is the program. Now, whenever you are going to execute this, then it will first ask you for entering the number, and then it will calculate according to this logic, that is whether the number is even or odd, and it is going to return you the answer. So let's have a look on that. Now here simply I'm going to use javac for compiling my program. Now class name I am giving here dot Java extension. So when you are going to press enter, it will be compiled, and then so it will ask me for entering the number. So I will enter the number, that is 32. So it is a even number. It has entered or returned the correct result to me. So this is how the programs can be written. Now, friends, always remember that whenever you are going to write the programs, make sure that you are arranging it in a proper way. So here also, I have written in like this is the curly brace, then I have given some space, then I have written the code. So this is the systematic way for writing the program, and it always helps you to understand like which code is written for what reason. So also be habitual to include the comments. Here I have not included it, but you have to include the comments if the large programs you are writing, because whenever you want to find out the code is written for what reason, then according to the comments, easily you can understand that. So this is how the methods can be written by using the parameters. So this is the next way. Now here, if you want to pass multiple parameters in a method, then also it can be done, and different categories or different types of parameters can be also used. So here simply you can include, like here I have written like public class accept data. This is the name of class. So here the name of a class is accept data. Then here I have included a method called as my data. In my data method, I have passed two arguments, one that is f name and second that is age. So n number of arguments you can pass with the method. Now here simply I have called the method, and in main method of my Java program, I am going to pass the arguments. So the sequence of arguments must be same in what sequence you have passed it here. This is how it can be done. Now, when you are going to execute this, then these values will be passed to this particular method as an argument. And when you are going to execute this, then it will return the result as you want. So whenever I'm going to compile this program, then for example, same javac, then name of the class, accept data dot Java. So it will be compiled successfully. Then if I want to show the result, then I have to execute this. So here it has been displayed all the parameters, all the values, that is three values we have passed. Names are Amit, Nia and Ankur, and respectively we have passed the is for all these names. So it is going to be displayed in the way we have written in the println statement. So this is how you can pass multiple arguments to a single method. Now we will move to the next section and we will see what exactly is method overloading. So we will be back to the PPT now. Now, method overloading is also considered as an important factor of writing methods. So method overloading is also used for reusability of the method. Now, simply, it means that multiple methods have same name, but with different parameters. So here, the name of methods will be same, but the signature, that is the parameters which we are passing and the return type of that method may be different. So that is what called as method overloading. Now, with the example again, we will try to understand what method overloading is. Friends, at Unikaksha, we always try to explain you the concepts along with the examples, because it helps you a lot to understand what exactly is the way of writing that particular concept and applying that particular concept in Java. So here we always try to explain you along with the hands-on sessions. Now let's move the editor back and try to understand about the method overloading more. So here I have written a simple program just to show you what exactly is the concept of method overloading. So here the name of the method is display method and name is same, but the method parameters are different. So that is what exactly called as method overloading. That is, name will be same, but the parameters which we are passing to the method and return value of that method may be must be different. So here the class is written, which is public class, and name of the class is overload method. Inside that we have written the method, that is display method, which is a static method, and we have passed a single argument here, that is integer argument. Then we have written the same method again, and we are going to pass two integer arguments in the method. And here simply we are just going to print the values which we are going to pass. Now the values can be passed here in main method. We have called both the methods and we have passed the values. Now according to the values we are going to pass to the methods, JVM understands that which method you are going to call. So here only one integer value I have passed, so the first method we are going to call. So JVM will transfer this value 10 to the method 1, that is display. Then here we have passed two values, 100 and 400. So JVM will find out that this is the second method, and these two values will be passed to these two parameters A and B. So, and it is getting displayed. Now let's have a look on the output. This is what called as a method overloading. So here I have compiled the program and executed the program. So it is going to show me the values are 10, and then the second display method is called. So it is going to show me the values are 100 and 400. So this is how the method overloading works. This is all about the Java methods. I hope you understood whatever I have explained along with the examples. So the concepts are like the methods are nothing but the containers where we are going to store the statement blocks. So here in today's session, we have learned about the inbuilt methods, user-defined methods, methods without argument, methods with argument, and then after we have learned about the method overloading. So along with the examples, I have tried to explain you about the way to write all these things. So I hope you enjoyed the session. For more such kind of videos, stay tuned with us at Unikaksha and don't forget to subscribe our channel. Till then, thank you so much.